What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kryptonite, because I believe that cryptocurrency and the blockchain are the kryptonite of our modern financial system, and I love it. Guys, if you watched my last video, which I highly recommend you do, you know that I was in a tough place. I'm very honest with you guys on my channel about what I'm going through, especially when it comes to trading, because what I've realized is a lot of what's going on with me personally affects how I trade, right? And it's a very emotional thing. So yesterday I was talking about how I was pretty down in the dumps. I had lost a few trades in a row. I haven't had a lot of time to trade because I've been working full time, doing other things because we're in a bear market in crypto, and so all of my holdings are down. I'm not able to take, a bunch of profits all the time. And it's been really tough going. As a trader, I've admitted that I'm pretty much a break-even trader at this point. Although I will say that over the last month, I have made profit. So I am slowly but surely turning into a profitable trader. Most of what's helping me to start to become profitable is just filtering trades and just filtering. I'm an over trader by nature, and that's one of the habits I've had to sort of eliminate. One of the other habits, which is such a, it's funny. So again, I always tell people, have a journal, not only for trading, but for your personal life, right? Journal both. So I do journal very consistently. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather today, by the way. And it's so funny how something so simple can hold you up and you don't know until you journal. So I'm a night owl and I love staying up late. But time and time again, when I've journaled, I've realized I am not awake for when the market is moving the most. And so I think I've said so many times on this channel, and I've written so many times in my journal, wow, missed that move. I was asleep for that move. I think I've said that phrase or written that phrase down 10, 20 times. Oh, there was a great obvious move. I missed it because I was asleep, right? And so it dawned on me, I need to do a better job of being up when the market is trading, because I'm going to be awake for those moves that are really obvious. And that was just a small step, because I was trading a lot of Asian session and off hours, and those are typically not reliable times to trade. Things don't really pan out. There's not volume there to push moves that are good trades through, because it's just a session that there's not many active traders. So I made it a point, and recently I made it a point. It's like, okay, I need to be more disciplined. I need to start getting up earlier to be around when the markets are, priming. And I've also had to filter out a lot of bad trades. So I was down in the dumps, losing a lot of trades in a row. But it's funny with trading how things flip just overnight, right? You're having a terrible trading day. It's awful. You wake up the next morning and all of a sudden the flip scripts. And that's what happened for me this morning and kind of late into the night. So basically I had planned on, going to bed early so I could wake up early so I could be up before the market open. But what usually happens to me is the London session opens when I'm about to go to bed. So I'm going to show you guys exactly the trades I made. I actually won 3 trades and lost 1, but the other 3 trades more than made up for the 1 loss. So major flip script from my last video, and I'm going to show you guys each one of my trades, why I entered, sort of what new trade strategies I'm trying out, and just giving you a glimpse into my life as a trader currently. I'm using small accounts, which is why I am having a tough time really generating significant profit. You really need the large accounts to risk manage properly. But anyway, without further ado, let me jump into Bitcoin. We'll go through that, and then stay tuned to the end, and I'll show you all 3 of my trades, why I got in them, how I was able to win them, and what I'm going to be doing going forward as a trader. So as you can see, what I always have up as my number 1 chart, as you can see up here, I have my different charts, and I try to keep consistent ones based on my most, the trading strategies that I enjoy and that I'm having success with the most. And so the first thing I've discovered, the US dollar index, everything flows from that. All the asset classes flow from the dollar index. So it is my literally number 1 chart that I'm looking at every day I'm looking at what is the DXY doing, because that is going to set the tone for US 30, for NASDAQ, for Bitcoin, for everything else. Comes from the stupid dollar, which I always talk trash about on our channel, because the Federal Reserve, you can print it into oblivion, and I'm sure it will. Thanks, Richard Nixon, for starting that out in the 70s and starting the first print. You've slowly led to the demise of our currency. So the DXY right here, I'm going to back it out a little bit. Give us a longer time frame. Oh, hold on a second. I need to make sure that floats on top. Forgot about that. One little setting. Float on top. Okay. Because you got to see this beautiful, pretty face. You know, I'm an actor. You know, I got to keep this face pretty. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so in the long term, as you can see, have been in this massive, massive uptrend. In fact, I even have it here on this perfectly beautiful, respected channel, all the way starting from October of 2021. But on the slow rise, Bitcoin has done the opposite. It is slowly, demised, right? So we're right now trading in this channel. I'm going to get rid of a couple of these fib retracements because I'll leave that one. So we're trading within this channel. Nothing has really changed as far as the bullishness on the dollar index. As you can see, all moving averages are beautifully going up in a perfectly straight manner. We are respecting the 21 pretty consistently here on the daily chart. We did recently get a bounce from the 21, a bullish engulfing off of, and now we are settling into a little bit of what I believe to be kind of a bullish channel. And as you can see, we got a great rejection here off of the 0.5 retracement level off of this previous low here, and it is perfectly respecting the 21. So until this changes, until we start breaking through moving averages, which as you can see on the daily chart, we broke through twice here and more, respected the 50 and continued up. So as long as we continue to respect these moving averages, we are in this continuous uptrend, and we are continuing to, sell and short all risk assets on the longer time frames, right? We can still win longs, which I did win multiple longs on Bitcoin, and I won a long on, under the weather. I won a long on Bitcoin, and I won a long on US 30, and I'll show you how I did that in the short time frame. So as far as the long term, though, Fed is continuing to hike those interest rates to really push us into a recession, to try to manage inflation. We know the news last time was not good. Inflation had not come down as much as expected, and there is expected to be a pretty big rate hike once again for the next one, because again, inflation is not coming down. So we could be in it for a very, very long bear market, and it'll be interesting to see how low Bitcoin goes and how strong it's able to hold up. Right now, we're being held up by some longer term, patterns are kind of holding us, keeping us from dumping insanely, because the dollar is so bullish. So that just shows you the strength of Bitcoin, that it's sort of holding strong. It's like a dam that's being, poking holes in the dam and the water's getting through it. Bitcoin is continuing to hold and only go down, bits at a time and continue its pattern. We'll get into that. So now let's jump down to the shorter time frame. And I use this a lot. I use this to win my long on Bitcoin, and I use it to win my long on US 30, because during those periods, the dollar index had hit support here on this kind of bullish channel that we have going on here. You can see we kind of broke down out of it, but you could even potentially redraw it at some point, but I'll keep it where it's at right now. But anytime the DXY would get to this resistance level, I would look to I would look to buy and long those assets. And so during this dip here and during this dip here, I won a long position on Bitcoin, and here I won a long position on US 30. And a big part of my analysis is the DXY at a support or resistance level, and then what is happening at that resistance level, right? As you can see right up here, big divergence there. Well, not super big, but you can see we made a way lower low, even though we made a lower low, but not a super intense one. At that, we had a 15-minute support line as well, previous resistance. Sorry, I say support, resistance. Got a nice rejection, came up, broke down. We did get supported as well. We did have our stochastic oversold at those areas as well. Same thing again. We came up, retested our horizontal resistance and our trend resistance, and again got a rejection down. I believe we also had a hidden bearish divergence. We had a high and we had a lower high on the price, but we had a high and a higher high on the RSI. That's a hidden bearish divergence. I mean, we're going to continue the downtrend, and that's exactly what we did. Also, stochastic was oversold. So again, DXY I'm using as the main driving factor of pretty much other assets. So let's jump into the Bitcoin charts. Now, right now, guys, we got a beautiful, beautiful daily candle off of this yellow support line. Look at that beautiful hammer candle. That's a beauty. Now, we'll see if we get follow through. We've still got another 18 hours for that candle. So it'd be nice to see some green follow through, which is what you kind of need with a hammer candle to sort of confirm. But that right there, my friends, is a beautiful looking candle. Looks like it was definitely a liquidity grab where we broke right below our previous lows here. Took that liquidity. Anyone who had stop losses down there got stopped out. Any breakout traders got trapped, and then we immediately came back up. So here's how I traded this. And I learned, if you guys watched my last videos, I sort of, that's you don't need to see that. That's my expenses and such. Boring stuff. Go to trading strategies. Nope, not trading strategies. Trade journal. There we go. So I'm going to take a look at this trade right here. I guess we're getting into the trades early. I thought I was going to wait, but we're jumping right in. Well, it kind of has to do with what? No, I don't want, what is this? Trade journal. Where are you? Come back. Oh, well, why would you only? That's weird. Okay. So we're going to look at, and it kind of has to do with what Bitcoin did. So it's kind of a perfect segue here. So the last time we came down at that other support level, I made the mistake. It was very similar to this, where we made a low and I bought it thinking we were at the bottom of that move. We came up, broke down, I got stopped out, but I was too scared to jump into the second one. And then we had that big, massive upswing, which I can show you guys right here, right? So we came down here. That's kind of what happened there. And then we had this huge move that I missed, because I was too afraid to take the second attempt. The first one kind of scared me. So I learned from that. And I realized, okay, we're coming down to this resistance level. We also, in combination with this horizontal level, which has been pretty strong, very strong support, we also have the pattern of our broadening descending wedge, and we had hit the very bottom, or we're coming down to the bottom close to that pattern. I think I have it kind of redrawn, but I think when I originally had it drawn, it was kind of more like right there. I've redrawn it because we did come down a little bit. But so what I did, as you can see in this, I did put a significant buy order in right here. And then I saved some on the table. As you can see, I bought some at the first arrow. We then broke down further. And then as you can see, that's when we hit our trend support. And we also were, still around our big horizontal support level. And so I bought more down here, guys. I lowered my entry price. Now this green and red isn't accurate. I just had thrown it on there. I forgot to change it, but my actual buy-in price was lower than where it was right there, because I bought more here and it lowered my entry price, because I was very convinced that we would hit a bottom here, because again, we were coming up to the 1618 off this run, right? We came down, we got a rejection off what is that? No, never mind. Well, we did get a rejection from the 786 right there. That might be, ignore that. Ignore that Fibonacci for now. Anyway, I saw we had two really strong supports. And technically you can redraw our longer term. You could sort of potentially draw it in a way to where it does contact here as well. I've since redrawn it based on what I think it should be, but you could actually, I think I did have it drawn before where I had it actually more drawn like this. And so I was actually seeing three supports: long-term, shorter term, and longer term horizontal. So I was like major support level. So we bought some there, and then we committed more to the position right here, lowering the entry price. Then we came up and I put it right below the 0.5 retracement. We came up, we hit that. So this was a very big win for me. I also looked at some indicators. Again, we had actually made multiple divergences here. And this is on the 15-minute chart. It doesn't say. I'm pretty sure it's on the 15-minute chart. But look at how many divergences. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bullish divergences in a row. So sometimes you can have a lot of these. So you really got to wait for that reaction or that real, that's why you can't always time the bottom. That's why sometimes trades like this work, because you keep buying a little bit, and then your average position is pretty low. So on top of that, we were way oversold on our RSI as well. I believe, and again, the DXY, right? Super important. The DXY was hitting a resistance level. So all those confluences together, I bought more at the second, and we came up, and I got a very big win. And I honestly don't do this, but I didn't actually use a stop loss on this one because I wasn't sure how low we would drop. And I also think from a much longer term perspective, we are really near the bottom, right? I've been saying last couple of days on my channel, I think that 16.5 is our low. You can see my little drawings here of where kind of I'm thinking price would go, and actually, wasn't too off with what actually happened. Let's see if it shows up on a shorter timer. So I drew this like way back here, right before any of this had happened. This is what I drew, and I mean, look at this. We're playing out pretty well. Now we did go a little lower than I thought we would. Came up. Now I am, according to my other prediction, we should break this trend line and come down and break underneath this support here. And so I did say that I did not think that it would make it to the top of this pattern again, because I think it's going to break out bearishly, and usually before a pattern breaks, it doesn't hit the other side, and then it'll go through. And a lot of times the moving averages push it out, and that's exactly what you see happening here, where it's perfectly respecting this descending broadening wedge, but then eventually the moving averages stop it from hitting the top. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. And I do think we have just kind of broken under this a little bit, still getting some support, but I do think that we will retest this as resistance, and we will come down, just like my previous prediction here is kind of come true. So I've been pretty spot on with my call there. It didn't go exactly as planned, but pretty similar. This is a trade that I did lose on Bitcoin, as you can see right here. And I did have my notes here. I think I need to add it to my journal. I was going based off of using Market Cipher, and we had gotten a red X, which is a pretty significant thing. We'd also gotten a red dot as well. Sorry, let me move down to a shorter time frame. Whoa there, come on now. Why are you being weird? Okay. So we had gotten a red, I believe we got on the 15th. So we had gotten a red X, and we recently had a red dot. I did see that we were, we had momentum candles were red, meaning we're below the 50 momentum line. We, broke underneath our 21 moving average. So I did take a short position here that I did lose. But that's okay, because we learned from it and we realized that, hey, you know what? Until it had broken this trend line, I should not have really gotten into it. I should have waited for the trend line to break to, really give me a stronger sign that we were going to continue down. We were also above our EMA ribbon, right? So a lot of times I'm noticing these X's and these dots, which are kind of just signals. They're not as powerful for the short side when we're trading over the EMA ribbon. So I'll have to remember that for next time, that those it usually comes in pretty clutch if you're under. Here's an X and a dot, boom, right? So if we're under the EMA ribbon and we get those signals, dot, X, boom, right? But over the EMA ribbon, dot, X, not as powerful. So not a terrible trade, but is what it is. I did think that the DXY was going lower at that point, but as soon as I saw that the DXY was hitting resistance and going down, I did take a trade on US 30. I'm going to show you guys that one right now. All right, so this one, as soon as I saw I was wrong about the Bitcoin trade, I didn't just jump out of my Bitcoin trade. I let it hit its stop loss or whatever. I was fine with that. But as soon as I saw that I was wrong and the DXY was getting resistance, oh, we're getting a little buy signal right now. That's when this was right around here where I started to see this happen, where I was like, oh, we're coming down. Okay. So I got a signal on US 30 that we had broken our previous little consolidation range here using the consolidation zones. We had a nice bullish breakout with my little shoe. We broke this previous trend line that was keeping us down. Again, the DXY was breaking down. We had green momentum on both the 5. This is off the 5-minute chart, the 5 and the 15. And we also, as you can see here, we actually had this W pattern right here that actually broke above the neckline. That's kind of what this line is. We broke above this W neckline. So we had 2 targets right here, a more conservative one and then a bigger one. Now, I did take profits a little early because I was happy with what I had won. I wasn't 100% sure that it was going to continue. I thought the DXY was kind of at a support level. It was kind of around the 200. So I thought the DXY could get supported. So I wanted to take my profits, and I did. We did end up going on to actually winning this trade outright. So I could have just let it sit and I would have made more money, but I try to be, I guess, quicker to take profits sometimes. Just, I don't want to get too greedy. I've struggled with that in the past. So I try to manage that. Typically you want to let your trade play out, but I like the profits I was in. I was sort of willing to take them. So I did. So sue me on that one, I guess. I don't know. I probably could have let it, play out and be fine. Before both of these trades happened, I did win another position on the NASDAQ, which I have here as well. We're just going to get right into the trades because why not? All right, let's take a look at this one. So you can see here, this actually happened super late. This happened like 2-3 a.m. And I ended up staying up way too late and then trying to get up as early as I could to make sure I was on the charts for those other trades, which I'm so glad I did. So we had a nice little smiley indicator. We had red momentum candles, red Heiken Ashi. I saw a little bit of a volume uptick right here, showing that there was, a little bit more interest in the move. So I went ahead and took a short position, and then it just grinded. I mean, it grinded down. I sat there and watched this thing and just said, Tim, just don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. And it grinded and it grinded and it grinded and it grinded and it grinded. Now, technically, even though it hit my target here, there is kind of a difference between the chart I trade on MetaTrader and the chart I use here. There's actually a difference. So according to the MetaTrader one, I actually hadn't hit that price target yet, even though I hit it here. So there was definitely a discrepancy between that. So I did take, even after I hit this one, I kind of was like, okay, well, I haven't hit the MetaTrader one yet, but I kind of won it basically, but I'm kind of mad there's this stupid discrepancy. They should just be the exact same. So it did start to climb, and as soon as I saw it breaking this falling wedge pattern, I just took my profits and ran. So unfortunately, it wasn't a lot, right? I didn't get this profit because it didn't actually hit this level on the MetaTrader NASDAQ, even though it hit it on this one. So that was kind of frustrating, but I just, again, as soon as I saw it breaking the falling wedge, I took my profit and said, you know what, I'll take my profit. That's fine. So again, we had momentum and Heiken Ashi down. The DXY was at a support and was climbing. We did see that slight volume increase, and we did see a recent rejection from the 21 moving average trading under that. So unfortunately, I was asleep. Here I am saying it again. I was actually asleep during this whole up move on this falling wedge pattern, which perfectly hit the top. So again, I'm trying to go to bed as soon as I can after I post this video so I can be up. So that way I can get in on it, because I woke up and this had already made a big move and I thought, I'm too late on that. But that's okay because I hit that US 30 move. So all good. Definitely number one focus for me is being up during market hours. That's number one priority for me at this point. But I was able to hit this move down, which is pretty awesome. So really great trading day. Definitely a lot different than the day before and the days before. I was really losing my confidence. And so I, had stopped journaling. So I'd made sure to journal again, kind of figured out what was going on. I have a lot of stuff that goes on in my personal life too, that still struggling. Moved out here to Florida and still, really struggling with that to kind of build a community, and struggling with, like I talked about in my last video, getting leveraged in crypto and being kind of having to pay that off. And so just, life's been definitely tough. Missing all my family and friends from back home for sure. I miss them dearly, as well as a lot of other things too. So that's part of the game. And I think that's why I really like trading, is because it makes me reflect on myself. It makes me, in order to become a better trader, I have to become a better person. As weird as that sounds, I like that this job, doing this, again, I have to be journaling, I have to be reflecting, I have to be managing my emotions, my sleep, my everything, my feelings of generosity, my feelings of gratitude, right? Like if I'm trading from a place of scarcity where I'm so afraid that I have nothing, then I make bad trades, right? I have to come from a place of gratitude, a place of I have plenty, I'm blessed, I'm thankful, and then you'll trade better out of those emotions, because those will take the fear response away. And so it's crazy. There's not a lot of professions that you can say, like, you actually have to become a better human being in order to do this successfully. And I can say for trading, I'm sure it's not true for everyone, but for me, I have to literally work on myself as a human being and become a better human being in order to trade successfully. And so I like that I'm motivated to do that, and that a profession motivates me to do that. So that is pretty cool. Now, as far as my Bitcoin predictions, well, you kind of already see it, right? It's kind of already made these predictions here. We are not hitting the top of that pattern yet. I don't think we will. I think the moving averages will force us back down. You can see we've already somewhat broken this trend line. You might be able to extend it out a little bit more. Yeah, you could extend it out a little bit more. So maybe we have not broken it quite yet, but potentially breaking that. Got a red dot there. Let's check out some of the higher. I'm going to check out a different chart here. It's going to give us a different look at things, and we'll jump it out to a higher time frame. But yeah, so as you can see, it's broadening, descending wedge here. We've been respecting it. We respected it right there. Nice big upswing. So kind of decision time here. Will Bitcoin hold this trend line? One thing we can take a look at is we can see, if we're at a retracement level, if we're just going to continue this downtrend. So we'll go from that swing high, swing low. We'll see that we are actually, I keep having to switch this color because I keep switching between white and and dark charts here. Let me go to settings. Just going to change it to gold. There you go. So as you can see, we did come up all the way and almost retest the 236, getting some resistance there at the 382. But I wouldn't say we stopped at, like I said, we're close to the 236, but that's not a strong retracement level. So there's potential that this has, some more move in it. Let's see for the RSIs. RSIs aren't really giving us anything. We just made a lower high there. Still a little bit low here on our regular RSI. Nice little move up there. So we do have more room to go up, potentially. See if the 12-hour can give us any inklings here. So this will be interesting because we have a high and a higher high on the RSI, but we have a high and a lower high on the price. This would be a hidden bearish divergence on the 12-hour that could be a signal that this was just a retracement and we're going to continue downward. That does look like a pretty bullish candle, I must say. That is, wow. That 12-hour candle is, geez Louise. Man, that makes me rethink things, because we haven't seen a candle like that since back here. All right, and we had a huge upswing from that. So that's a big one. Now, I'm not 100% sure, right? Here we had a nice big bearish engulfing, but again, we came down. But we weren't at a strong level. Right now, we're at a very strong level. So seeing that kind of candle, that makes me bullish right there. Like that's, we might still come down more. But that right there. And then on top of our nice bullish hammer candle. Wow. Okay. Well, that's something to think about. I actually hadn't really seen that candle, so I wasn't really. Wow. That's a big one. Looks like we're getting a little oversold there on the stochastic, but that's on the shorter time frame. So let's check the longer time frame. Sorry guys, I should have checked this before and seen if I had seen anything, any signals that were kind of weakening in this. This is something we might be interested in. We've got our volume going down on the 1 hour while we're making higher highs. That is a sign of weakness. Let's see if it shows up on the 4 hour as well. I hate this. This isn't adjusting. It's really annoying to, now on the 4 hour, well, still a decline here. As you can see from here to here to here to here. So to me, that's a sign of weakness. I can't deny that. Also, look, 3-line strike candle on the 4 hour, off of after. Look at that, came up doji reversal candle, potentially at near a retracement level. Follow through with a 3-line strike. Looks like a Heikin-Ashi switch. Also, the momentum is. So you can see the ones with the green outline. It means it's a green Heikin-Ashi. So we switched to the full red. So we got full red momentum, red Heikin-Ashi, declining volume, oversold stochastic. A lot of signs here pointing that, my prediction will come true, and we will maybe consolidate in here, break down out of this trend, and continue to make lower lows. Would not be surprised. And that rounding too, that's not good. Like when you see that rounding kind of, it almost looks like a cup and handle the opposite way. If you think about it, look at that. Nice little cup, nice little handle. So that could be a pretty, let's see. So yeah, we could see a nice little downswing from here of this trend break. We could come all the way down to kind of retest, maybe make a second, maybe make a higher low here, creating a W that W's out. So there's one potential scenario. So we could break down out of here, make a higher low W pattern. Probably mess around here, break our trend line here, retest. That would create a W pattern breakout, which would send us back up to retest our. And that would be a big one, right? That price target's going to be pretty big. This is just a conservative one. Okay, so that would take us all the way back up to the 2618, up to obviously we've got this big resistance box, which we really didn't respect at all these last two times. So maybe this box isn't really as strong as we think it is, and we did get recent resistance there and support, so that's why it's there. But it's very possible we shoot straight through this, bullishly break out of this. Now, technically the pattern target for this would be here. So one scenario, is that we come up and we hit our top of our wedge here, which also is our resistance. And we get a, maybe we make a double kind of bottom, or maybe even a rounding bottom there, and then we come down. All right, that's a possible scenario. We could break through, come up, retest our previous, our falling wedge here for a while. That would be kind of scenario 2. Wouldn't be surprised to see it fall short yet again and not actually get to the trend line. Would not be surprised to see that at all. But like I said, if that W pattern breaks out, then the pattern target is up here. So we would kind of meet. And if it got up there kind of slow, we could end up meeting both this resistance box here. Here's the top of the box, and this trend line. And that would get us mostly to our W pattern price target. So we could see all those confluences kind of coming together with the W, with the support or resistance box, and the trend line could all sort of reject us right in this area, which I do expect that to happen. And then that's when we would see, yet another probably massive, coming down. Because guys, unfortunately, like I talked about in my last video, as you can see, in order to hit this longer term support, we got a ways to go. I'll just erase this for now. We got a ways to go, guys. unfortunately, we've come down and we've retested this level pretty consistently every bear market, and we're not there yet. We still, here's my low right here at around 16,869. Maybe it dips even below. I wouldn't be surprised to see a sort of spike down. So maybe even into the, low 16s, high 15s. I think that would be a perfect bottom because it would be a lot higher than whatever all the super ultra bears are calling for, because it's not going to go that low. It's not going to go low as the ultra bears are calling for, just like it didn't go as high as the ultra bulls were saying it was going to go. It's going to go somewhere in the middle. So not surprised to see one big wick down. We take liquidity from this level here, stop out all those people, come down, maybe dip under this line here, get supported, dip down into the low 1600s, maybe even get into the high 15s before, sort of having to sort of make a decision. Now, again, this is where it kind of can, how you draw this line can kind of, let's say you drew it like something like this, right? Which you get that one, right? That would show that we're kind of coming to the crescendo of our potential falling wedge here. We might not even go down here, right? My crescendo would be, somewhere around. Well, no, actually, I mean, if you look at that, perfect little crescendo, if you're drawing it that way, right at about 17,000, right below this previous low, which I've been saying for a long time that I think we're gonna get a liquidity grab below this last low, and that'll be the last dip. So that could be it right there, and then we break up bullishly out of this pattern. By then, it'll be around middle of November-ish, October, beginning of November, middle of November, depending on how long it hangs out, which is right in line with our cycles on when Bitcoin usually bottoms. So it's not going to be a massive spike. It'll probably hang out around here for a while and kind of slowly grind up this line, and really just be nice and slow, because we still got a long time before the next halving. So it's going to grind up real slow. So plenty of time to accumulate. Again, I do have a little dry powder because I do think we're going to come down. As soon as we retest these lows, I'm buying more, because at that point it's stupid not to buy. I mean, look at this. Right? I mean, every time. So it just makes sense. Everything makes sense. The cycles, the timing of the cycles, the percentage drop is all consistent. Let's see what percentage drop that would be if we dropped all the way down. That's only 74? That can't be right. Hold on a second here. That's not right. I thought we're already down like 80%. Top of the high here. That is weird. I wonder if this chart. I could have sworn we were already down. Oh, maybe that makes sense. Then we'd come down to about 75%. Now, the other ones have usually come down more. They've come down usually upwards of 80% or more. We know that over time, though, it's going to get less and less, right? We know that as it becomes more adopted, the downside is going to just get less and less. So as you can see, it came down here, 84. So we're due for it not to come down as far. So let's say that it comes down and maybe breaks even below this line to kind of fake people out. So maybe 76% down here, something like that. Could go lower, you never know. Could get a big wink down, who knows. Definitely have some buy orders set down there for sure. But anyway, those are my predictions for the bottom. So just keep grinding, keep accumulating, keep learning crypto, keep experimenting with things. I wish it kind of sucks right now because this is the time where you want to be using stuff, you want to be trying stuff out, and I personally just haven't had the time, which sucks because I would love to be, trying to make moves on Arbitrum to get that airdrop, or using Polkadot and all the stuff they're offering, and I wish I had the time for it, guys, but it's pretty much just work full time to pay off this debt, and then any hours I'm trading, I'm studying, I'm creating content. So I wish I had more time to interact with more different cryptocurrencies and stuff. So if you have the time, now's the time to be trying stuff out and messing with stuff, because you could get free airdrops, and you'll be ready to go when, the masses get involved and people want to know how to use crypto. Well, they'll come to you. They'll know, I expect next bull run, I'm going to be getting a lot of people not only watching my channel, but a lot of people coming to me personally and saying, hey, how do I buy Bitcoin? How do I put it into a wallet? How do I interact with NFTs? How do I buy one? Like, what do I do, right? You're going to start getting all those type of questions from people if they know that you're into crypto, and that's where I wish I would have seen, because obviously this is my first bull run, my first bear market. I remember more towards the peak, between that $40,000 to $60,000 range, I had friends asking me, hey, can you teach me how to buy, what exchange should I use? How do I buy Bitcoin? How do I do this? That should have been a signal to me that we are near the top. If you have kind of random people wanting to know, we know the market mentality is buy the top, sell the bottom, right? Greed, fear. It gets most people, unless you're mentally training yourself to do the opposite. So that should have been a signal to me that we had a lot lower to go, because now there's nobody in my life who is really asking me about crypto at all, other than to say, hey, I heard Bitcoin's crashing, right? So that is a sign of a market bottom, right? No one is, my videos aren't getting very many views. No one's reaching out to me asking, how do I do this? How do I buy Bitcoin? Tell me about crypto. How do I learn about the blockchain, right? Not a peep, even though a lot of people in my life know that I'm into crypto, but they just see it. They see, oh, Tim, look at him. He's, all his holdings are down. He's having to work full time to get out of debt because he levers himself and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm sure in their minds, it's, crypto is a very negative thing. It's risky. It's stupid. It's a Ponzi. It's going to zero. Like, no one gives a shit. No one wants to, no one is hitting me up saying, hey, teach me how to use crypto, right? They don't give a fuck, right? Because it's down. But that's a market bottom sign. This is like a perfect sign to be accumulating. And then when we get to the top and all your friends are like, yo, how do I buy Bitcoin? How do I use Coinbase? How do I do this? That's when you're like, uh-oh, we're getting towards the top here. I gotta be taking some profit, right? That's how you gotta think. You gotta use the people around you as trade signals to tell you when to buy or sell. Because I wish I had taken more of those signals at the top when people were asking me about it, and I would have just been like, oh, people are asking? Time to sell. But again, I didn't know. So this is sort of for the next market, I will know, and I will be, selling a lot more as we go up to the top. Although eventually we'll get pretty mass adopted to where most people will know about it, and we'll stay knowing about it, right? It won't just disappear. But again, we'll go through the cycle. We'll hit a top. Everyone will be euphoric. Everyone and your mother, I'll get like thousands of views on my YouTube channel. Everyone will be calling me, texting me, Tim, how do I use crypto? How do I buy Bitcoin? Blah, blah, blah. And then, when the next bear market comes, it'll be back to us. It'll be back to just us right here. Just me and a few followers sticking around, watching my videos, learning about crypto, interacting with dApps, trading, whatnot. And that's when I'll know it's time to buy again. It's time to buy. So do the opposite of what people are doing. That is the key to investing, right? And that's what I love about trading too. Trading has taught me to think the opposite way of most people. I'm training as a trader. I'm training my mind. There's a support level. I need to be bullish. There's a resistance level. I need to be bearish. Regular psychology is, oh my gosh, look at this move up. I need to get in here. Smart people, not people aren't smart, but people who are trained in the markets, right? You're not dumb if you don't know about the markets. You haven't trained for that profession or that what I do, what other people do. You would see, oh my gosh, we just hit this resistance line. We just had this candle. I need to sell. Bam. All right. A lot of people bought the top here thinking, oh, we're going to 100,000. Let's go. Smart money went, I'm selling here. Bam. So what are you going to do here? What are you going to do here? Are you going to be dumb money? And are you going to be like, oh, look at all this red. Oh man, we're going at 5,000, 3,000. I got to sell, man. I got to sell it all. Oh man, I can't afford to lose anymore. Oh, this is going to zero. Or are you going to be the market, dumb money? Or are you going to say, wow, look at this really strong support level. Wow, look at this other really strong support level. Gosh, there's all this red. That means we're probably going to go green at some point soon. I need to be buying. And that's exactly what I've been doing. Buying all the way down. Been buying all the way since 30,000. So I've rode the falling knife here quite a while. So, but anyway, guys, that is all I have for you today. Thank you for being on the show, of course. Guys, as always, make sure to save your money, grow your money, buy some Bitcoin, because we all know that the fiat currency, the dollar bill, is the ultimate meme coin. It is going to zero at some point because we're in a debt-based system and they're going to have to keep printing. There's no stopping it now. The cat is out of the bag. Not all currencies were meant to last forever. I do believe Bitcoin, although maybe it won't last forever, it's going to last a long time, and it is a dang good thing for society. It is extremely important for society to preserve privacy with money and to be able to preserve our freedom with money. And that's why I think Bitcoin is so important. So I will see you guys on the next one.